Nicole. This is Dude That's Booked Up.
Welcome.
We're glad you're here.
So glad. I hope you guys are all good. Hope you're feeling all right. We're doing it.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Who knows what's going on?
We don't even know at this point in time.
Yeah.
We could have a fucking meteor could be on the way and we don't know.
Fucking meteor gnome.
Meteor. Well, do we have any business for this here podcast this week?
What's the biz? I think no. We got like a nice little influx of reviews. Thank you so much. Maybe we already had them. The business is it's been a while since we recorded because we kind of we got on a new schedule over the holidays to like give ourselves a buffer so that we could hang out and do nothing, which was fantastic.
I feel refreshed, but then it all came crashing down this past week.
Yeah, it was short-lived, and also it was but it was nice. We didn't have to do any work, and we still chatted and stuff. But it was just we had like a big. I had 2 nice kind of like weekends, 4-day weekends of doing nothing. I'm still not wearing regular pants. I'm still not. No. Yeah, I'm in sweatpants. I haven't.
Also, we're wearing sweatpants, but we're also wearing matching shirts that we did not coordinate.
No, we did not. It was not middle school call the night before. What are you gonna wear?
What are you wearing?
Yeah, I haven't worn makeup since the 31st of December. It is now the 7th of January.
Feeling refreshed.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh. I am obsessed with fucking Kristen Bell's Happy Dance CBD coconut oil. I put it on my face last night. And then today I was like doing my makeup and I was like, ooh, my skin is so supple.
So supple. I love it.
So relaxing all the time, head to toe.
That's amazing. I got to get me some of that. I got it. I'm on it.
Use my code, bitch, so I get 20% off.
Oh, I will, bitch.
Okay, you'll get it too, so that's good.
Yeah, everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
Yeah, I was all in both weekends between at the end of the year, basically.
Yeah.
Where you just like don't know like what day it is. It's just like the weirdest like, mental no man's land.
Yeah.
No man's land. So yeah, I did the same thing. I just like I crushed whatchamacallit? Bridgerton.
Ooh.
Crushed it in 2 days. Yeah. Great. I still think that the great is better, but this was a delicious little snack for binge watching, but
great. I loved it. It's
also,
so
if you guys like Bridgerton and you haven't watched The Great yet, you should watch that. But also, I really like on Hulu Harlots. That's a good one.
Oh, I don't think I've watched that.
That's it's a cross between, I would say, Bridgerton and I don't know. Peaky Blinders, maybe?
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't watch that.
No, not that dark. It's fun. It's a fun
okay.
It's very, very bingey. It's fun.
I feel like, I also feel like because we haven't been talking as like regularly on a schedule, there's so many things that like we haven't talked about. Like
we're catching up.
We're catching up. Phoebe Bridgers did the Harry Styles video. Did you see Phoebe Bridgers? Fucking dumb. No, Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Isn't that also a musician though?
Phoebe Bridgerton or Phoebe Bridges. Jesus fuck.
You guys, it's been so long since we've podcasted. We don't know how to do it anymore.
Everybody has the last name Bridge now. Everything's Bridge. Have you played Bridge yet?
I need to watch that.
Oh yeah, it was good. It was Harry Styles, and it's a really cute, like happy, sweet song. And then Phoebe Waller-Bridge from Fleabag is in it, and it's really cute. And they're wearing like matching outfits, and they do like old timey dances. like tap dancing. It's so cute. And then I saw the video for water.
Cheeky. Oh.
Yeah, it's cheeky. Oh, hey, do you want to do a dance? Or whatever. I'm doing a lot of shoulders.
Yeah. Wow.
Hey, can I order another martini from you? I feel like a Muppet.
You kind of are.
I kind of look like one.
No.
Oh, but I was going to say, then the next video that served to me was watermelon sugar. And I'm like, oh, I've never seen this video. Fucking horny, dude. I was like, I heard
Harry Styles is just horny. Like, he is just so
him.
horny. I love
He's maybe dating Olivia Wilde.
I saw that shit. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. I was like, good for them. And I was like, good for them. And
Good for her.
Good for her. Oh, my God. But I kind of heard that. I heard that song was about, like, eating pussy. And I
Absolutely.
was like, oh. And then the video definitely confirmed it. Because the whole time he's, like, touching it and, like, putting his mouth on it. And I was like, should I be watching this?
Sir.
Yeah. And then it's just, like, a bunch of women, just, like, their faces being like, And I was like, oh, my God. It is about that.
Confirmed.
Everything's so horny this holiday season.
Yeah,
This holiday break, man.
People have not been able to get out. They are expressing themselves, okay?
It's great.
Good for them. I love it.
People miss touch, and it's real.
It's really real.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Well, I don't know that there's any business except to go to our website, DTFUpodcast.com.
Or leave us a review on iTunes. We would fucking
love
love
it.
it.
Fucking love it. We love that shit. Yeah. Anything fucked up for you this week?
No, I don't. There's probably so much stuff. I bought another pair of roller skates, but
You do have a problem.
I have a problem. To be fair, I've bought 4 pairs. I've purchased 4 pairs, and I've sold 2. So those were in and out. Those don't count because it worked itself out. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, it was like it canceled itself. Yeah.
But I definitely did buy a new pair. Let me show you. They're so fucking rock and roll, and this is like, oh my God. They're black suede, but they have leopard. This can come off, and I could take these laces off, so it's not so like leopardy if I don't want it to be.
I love
and then it has this like inner. Oh my God! I opened them today, and I was like, oh my God! I'm living just my this year for me.
Your roller skate fantasy.
Yeah, my like 80s slasher film rock and roll life. I just feel like why not lean into it? I'm gonna stop pretending I'm like girly and like sometimes I am, but it's like, oh, I'm like pink and purple. It's like I like that. But I fucking wear a black t-shirt most days and I'm gonna fucking lean into it. I'm gonna start wearing more dark lipsticks. I don't care.
Yeah, this is your time.
This is my time. And I'm reading Untamed by Glennon Doyle. She says do whatever the fuck you want. So I'm gonna do it.
What's stopping you, you know?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. So
express yourself.
Yeah.
Nothing really. No.
Yeah.
Nothing compares to any of the bullshit that's happening. So I just, I can't even complain. It's not even, we're not venting today. We don't have anything crazy. I've been trapped in my house. Like, nothing's happening. So
I know. For some reason, it feels like, but I think because it's a new year, and please, we are very realistic. We know nothing was going to change.
No.
2021 first day. It's like, no. But I think because it feels like a new year and we've been doing this for so long and people are still wilding out in the streets, fucking maskless, super spreader events and shit, not to mention everything that happened yesterday. But it's like, I'm getting just so annoyed.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and so that's what it just feels like so much pressure.
I feel like I'm training to, for when we actually go back to like being in public and being amongst the people. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm in training to be a complete and total cunt to people that are being assholes to the rest of the public, to the rest of the community. Like I am ready to
speak out.
shat on a Karen's face if I have to. Like, I don't, whatever it takes by any means necessary. I'm in training. I am radicalized. I'm ready to fuck your life up if you are a piece of shit douchebag.
100%.
When I finally go back to living in public again.
I don't have like a conscience anymore when it comes to like, oh, maybe I'll be friends with that person still. Or like, not even that, but just like people that even are edging on being inappropriate. Like I saw someone we went to high school with that I'm friends with on Facebook. Didn't catch that they were a weirdo. Well, I unfriended a ton of people, remember? Like, during the summer.
We did the purge,
I did the purge. And some people who weren't really on my radar, I just left. I was like, oh, maybe they're cool. I don't know. Well, fucking this bitch went with her husband to Hawaii over the break and was like, oh, we just needed to get away. It was so nice to go on vacation. And I'm just like, fuck you.
A lot of people need that.
Yeah. How about everybody needs that? And why? I mean, you and I talk about this all the time, but it's like, don't fucking post about it, okay? If you're going to be a dumb cunt, just do it in private so that the rest of us aren't judging you. But
yeah, now I know who to tell on to the FBI.
Yeah,
you guys are fucking idiots. Okay. That's a perfect segue for my thoughts. And into it's gonna be a kind of like a little bit of a
bumpy ride
into our topic. But I just kept thinking that with this past week, wow, what a time to be alive. I know we say it often, but really, this is crazy right now. What we are living through is absolutely batshit crazy. I was just reading about how this current point in history is probably one of the most stressful for humans ever. What we've been living through the past several years, not even just like 2020, but like everything. It's actually pretty comparable to the Dark Ages. Like in terms of like stress that people are dealing with, the levels of stress that people are dealing with. It's comparable to the Dark Ages when the bubonic plague was wiping out a massive chunk of the planet's population, which is also happening.
Yeah.
Right now we have a literal pandemic happening that's taken out a lot of people. But then I was thinking, at least hundreds of years ago, they didn't have to watch people live tweeting into their faces about how to dress up their plague masks or people going on unnecessary trips to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Or they didn't have to see friends and family on their, Instagram stories going to circuit parties, spreading disease to every corner of the world, or going to super spreader events like you were saying that turned into an insurrection and attempted coup of their government. So at least they just, had their little bubonic plague and, hunger and stuff to worry about, which people also have to worry about now.
Yeah, dude.
So
yeah. Dude, that's a real problem right now. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
People are shoplifting food and baby formula more than ever.
Don't say anything. If you see it,
if you see people shoplifting food, you have suddenly become blind.
I didn't see anything. I go,
Absolutely not.
Yeah. I mean, not that we're like encouraging stealing, but you just don't narc on people who are desperate to feed their babies.
Absolutely not. Anyway, so we do have one thing, though, going for us that people back in horribly shitty times did not have.
Mm-hmm.
We currently, in this day and age, have better options for catching our period blood that have nothing to do with shoving tree bark into our cooters like they did back in the ancient times. I will not.
I don't even like touching tree bark with my fingers. It's very scratchy.
Yeah, you ever heard of a splinter? I'm not looking to get one inside of my vagina.
Also, okay, and say you didn't even get it inside your vagina. Using your fingers to get it out, you get it under the fingernail. Oh, no. I don't like it. I'm free bleeding.
Absolutely. That is an option. But we also have all kinds of options other than free bleeding. some more effective and more accessible than others, but options nonetheless. So
yes.
So yeah, if you couldn't guess, today we're talking about, and I can't believe we haven't talked about it before, the history of period products.
Oh my God. Thank you to whoever submitted this coming into the closed Facebook group.
Doiiii!
Doiiii! Also, quick side note, we're going to talk about period products, but please know that there is a whole separate market for period hygiene and like feminine hygiene that's adjacent that we're not really going to touch on. And that could be its own separate part too. And there could even be a trilogy maybe, because the way people have talked about periods is also a whole big thing. And we're going to kind of touch on them both a little bit, but like those could be whole big thing. So
yeah, whole other episodes, but we're going to just try to narrow the focus to the means of collecting and, disposing of period blood.
Yeah.
Over the ages.
Yeah.
And also another quick note, in this episode, we will endeavor to use gender neutral language while discussing this topic due to the fact that many trans men and non-binary people experience periods. So feel free to holler with any suggestions for improvements if we fuck it up in any way. Yeah. Because
But we're not going to, because we just say people.
We just say people.
We'll just say people with vaginas.
I think with uteruses.
Or uteruses, yeah. Well,
functioning,
both.
Yeah, both. Yeah.
Okay. So, menstruators.
Yeah. Menstruators.
If we ever start a softball team, can we call it that? Anybody can be on
Any
it.
team.
We're
the menstruators.
League? Yeah. A fucking band, maybe. Because I have my new skates.
Well, I don't know that I can play any sort of instrument.
I
was reading about like several bands who have members who literally just learned to play the instrument that they play in the band. Just for the time songs. They decided to create a band. So
you can do it.
Kings of Leon did it. They were
really?
Yeah. I think their cousin or something is the bassist, and they were like, do you know how to play the bass? He's like, no, I'll just I guess learn.
It only has 4 strings. I could figure it out.
Yeah. Slap at a bass.
Yeah, I could slap at a bass for these basic ass songs.
Yeah. What do you got? 3 chords? Great. Yeah. Let's do it.
Great. I learned C, D, and G. I think we're good. Oh my God. Yeah. Periods. We haven't talked about it yet. I'm so excited.
Can't believe it. It's the most on brand episode of all time. And it's taken us 3 years to get to it. So
yeah.
Here we go.
Okay.
So people with functioning uteruses have experienced
Uteri? No.
Yeah. Utes.
Utes.
2 Utes.
Who Utes talking about?
Damn, we should rename our podcast. If we just have one, let's have another podcast called 2 Utes. My cousin Vinny period mashup.
Oh my God. Yes. I love it so much. Oh my God.
Well, as I was saying, people with uteruses have experienced periods since before humans were completely evolved as a species. We're talking Australopithecines fucking strolling around the goddamn Sahara or, the fluvial plains of Africa. Our ancestors, our very distant ancestors, have been dealing with periods for a long time.
Oh, I mean, since people existed.
Yeah. Before modern humans.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like Neanderthals, I'm saying.
It's part of procreation. So if we're here, then they had to go through the cycle.
The cycle. The Utes. But
it's making me think of Utz chips, and I'm like, maybe it's Utes. I don't want the barbecue Utes. I will take a pickled Utes.
Salt and vinegar.
I was just going to say salty.
Sour cream and onion. Just kidding. I would never.
No, mine's more like a tuna Utes. Mine's a tuna Utsil casserole.
Oh God.
I'm
Well,
just
well, despite the fact that we, as humans, have been menstruating a long time, there's very little documentation about periods in ancient history. That's probably because the people, I mean, the men, let's be honest.
Yeah.
The scribes were recording the knowledge of the times were men, and they had
non-Utes.
The non-Utes were out here, and they were like, ew. Literally.
Yeah.
And they just did not talk about it. They didn't write about it. And yet they wrote about bloody battles, like, in detail, and boils on people's buttholes all the fucking time. All the fucking time.
So rude. So rude.
What are you going to be squeamish about, okay? It's rude. You just hate women.
Yeah.
You just hate Utes. You hate the Utes.
Yeah. No more.
So the way we've developed or evolved our thinking, not just about periods, but also the products that are developed and marketed to period havers, is a wild ride.
Dude.
We're going to roll through it starting all the way back in the days of ancient Egyptians and then come all the way back up to today's methods. So let's do it. So we're starting before the common era / ancient methods, just like that general era where we don't know what the fuck they were doing, but we're like historians have hazard guesses.
They've pieced it together. Yeah. Yeah, they have some educated guesses.
For example, historians believe that ancient Egyptians made tampons, like actual tampon-esque things that they put up their cooters, out of softened papyrus. Papyrus is cool, man.
Is that not? I don't know what that is.
It's
like a plant.
It's a plant. Yeah.
Okay.
It's what they use also as paper.
Yeah, I knew that. Okay.
But it was also used to catch period blood. So
cool.
Papyrus is a very cool, versatile material.
Ooh.
Not so much as a font, though. We don't like papyrus font.
But we do like Papyrus, the card store. I like their cards.
I heard, aren't they bankrupt?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't know why that's funny. It's not. I mean, it doesn't matter.
I always get Greek names wrong, but I know like what it is. Hippocrates.
Oh, Hippocrates?
Hippocrates.
Yeah.
Hippocrates, the father of medicine. I know like the Hippocratic Oath, but like I always get so confused with the E's.
Yeah. No, I know. All the names, it's so hard because you forget where the like emphasis is and what the vowel sounds change in all those names, name to name. So yeah.
Well, the father of medicine, wrote that ancient Greek people used to make tampons also by wrapping bits of wood with lint. Wood. Remember we said the thing about splinters in your undercarriage?
Yeah, but these have some fucking belly lint rolled over it like a little cigar. It's like they make like little cigarellos on a twig.
Like, I'm sure it was fine. I'm sure they probably used cedar wood, which I'll talk a little bit about. But yeah.
Yeah, painful. So painful. What?
Oh, no. Go ahead.
Oh, I think also depending on like the continent, this is basically what people were doing at that time, like to absorb the period blood.
Yeah.
They would find a substance that they could somehow mold and fit in either inside them or like right at the opening, I suppose.
Yeah.
And depending on the continent you were on, you would use like grass even. Paper, like not just papyrus, but like I think in Japan they used paper, so they would just like, I don't know, wad it up.
No, I mean, it's just like how, when you get in a jam and you're in the bathroom and you don't have anything on you.
Toilet paper.
You use toilet paper. You just
you just
wad
go like
that
this.
Shit up until and then you waddle down the hall and you like, you ask some, uterus haver if they have anything on their person.
Yeah.
But also like, I know like native people use cedar wood because it could be really flattened out, and you can like layer it, and it's also extremely absorbent and flexible. So that was the thing that Native American cultures used. Also, the inside of cattails has like a fluffy like
Tendon?
it's like fluff. It's like
Oh, not a cat's tail.
no, a cattail, like the like
I know.
swamp pond thingies that are around the
I was like, what are they doing to cats during their periods? Are they reusable? But it's not a cat.
No, a cattail.
Yeah.
That
the plant.
You split open the like brown part, and there's the corn dog looking part, and and there's like fluff inside of it. Cattails have millions of uses, by the way. I found out, but Native Americans used the fluff part for like to make a layer in diapers. And also to staunch bleeding. So it stands to reason that it was probably used to absorb period blood. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. So yeah, those are like some of the ancient methods. Tampons, that seems extremely modern, but
and tampons as we know them are modern. Like, but yeah, people using something as like a blockage has been happening since the dawn of time.
Yes.
I think it didn't get that much. It didn't change much. Like, we didn't really have a lot of advances in terms of sanitary products until like the 1900s. All up until that point, it was kind of like.
Also, we just really don't know what was happening because, there's not a lot of literature or understanding about what women were doing. And especially, like, we have some information about ancient times, but especially in the Middle Ages is what the time period we'll talk about next.
Well, if you think about it, men were like writers.
Also.
And knew nothing about women's vaginas.
Right.
Or nothing about vaginas, period, you know?
Well, and especially in period. And especially in the Middle and Dark Ages when religion was just, just totally the law of the land, and it was so repressive. And people just were not allowed to talk about these things. Yeah. So women probably were extremely resourceful figuring this shit out. But again, not a ton of documentation around this time period, but there's a few products we do know about. Yeah. Which pretty like reasonable, I guess, and some of the only things that you could discreetly do would just grab some rags.
Just put a rag in it.
Yeah.
Just put a rag on it.
And I don't know, like the way that women's undergarments were, seems like it'd be very difficult. You'd have to like fashion like a diaper for yourself.
Dude, yeah, that's what I was thinking, because you're like, excuse me, it's like, it's just pants. Yeah. I don't know. Nothing was, we know like regular underwear that we wear now, like brief type underwear came later. So, and that's close to your body where you're like, okay, yeah, you could put a rag in there, but it is kind of hard to figure out how they'd put it in there before. But if they didn't use a rag, they would just free bleed onto their like pantaloon type underwear.
Yeah. Women just like didn't have these even undergarments. Some of them, like, especially like extremely poor people. Yeah. And there weren't just like rags lying around. They had to use everything that they had. So it's just like, well, just like go like hang out and swim in a pond and just, until it's over.
Okay, but is it true that when you're in water, you don't bleed?
That's not true. I've definitely bled in water, and I've also bled in the shower. So,
in the shower, but you're not submerged in water in the shower.
I don't think so. If you like, maybe there is a seal that like happens, but I don't know. Like people, like if it's gonna come out, it's gonna come out. Like, I don't know.
I know. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I've ever taken like a bath and seen it come out. I'm sure.
Maybe it was just like, I don't know.
On the outside, kind of.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, well, people that did have the means to use rags would use them, and that's where being on the rag comes from. Not during that time. People didn't use it. It's very Cher Horowitz and was not in their vocabulary at that time. But later, as historians were like, hey, I think this is what they were doing, we adopted that phrase for when people are on their period.
Yeah, you know, some teenager in history class was like, oh, rag. Oh, they're on the rag.
Yeah.
What are you on the rag? Yeah, that's how that started.
Just some intern at some like historical institution.
At a library. Yeah, I think people were pretty resourceful. Like, this is like a lot of guesstimation based on like some things that historians have, some intel that historians have gathered, but it's hard to say. Also, free bleeding would totally ruin clothes, which was expensive. So that was probably what it was. And also, I did see something where there was an argument made that some people who could afford it would wear skirts and dresses that were dyed dark colors to hide any potential accidents. So not necessarily free bleeding, but like knowing that it was like a time that they needed to be like we don't wear white pants.
Right.
I mean,
you got Labor Day.
You would be a very confident person to do such a thing while you're on your period.
In general, I mean, everybody has a wet fart now and then.
Everybody forgets and wipes their like nasty Cheeto fingers on their pants sometimes. Like
their Cheeto fingers. Oh my God. Yeah, totally. I know. No, you just don't do that. But why do I picture everyone from like medieval times in like beige?
I mean, honestly, like earth tones were where it was at then.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they had.
But if you had the money to like dye your clothes, like I think that was the thing that people were like, it's like you can afford to buy the like, you know, startup brand like period
rags.
I don't know.
They're called. These are Utes rags.
Yeah,
Utes rags.
Utes rags. And this. So that was like kind of the guess, but I have a feeling that a lot of the methods that were used in ancient time kind of carried through and didn't really change during the Middle and Dark Ages. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention from ancient times, I put this in the wrong place in our notes, but sea sponges have also been used for millennia for periods. So
and later contraception.
And all around the world, like, and fun fact, I've definitely used sea sponges before for my period.
Oh my God.
They're a very environmentally friendly way to deal with it.
Is it like a loofah with a string on it?
Yeah, kind of. It's like a small sea sponge, you know, like, and it's like if it's you use like a sustainable company that harvests sea sponges like ethically. But I've gotten them before. You get them in like a pack of 3 or something, and they're like very inexpensive. The thing is, you just have to keep them extremely clean. You just like sterilize them. Every time you use them. So it's like it was just like using a applicator-less tampon.
Tampon, yeah.
So ask me anything. I'm doing an AMA on it later, so
I love it. Oh my God,
that could be part of our Patreon Q&A.
Ask us about our personal period recommendations.
So that brings us now to the 18th and 19th century. We're almost to modern times, but not quite. Yeah, they were still pretty like using rags. That was way more common. But people were like, this is like not ideal. Can we like please figure something out?
Yeah.
And so things started to slowly change. Rags, I think, got a little bit more substantial.
Yeah, a little bit more official. It was like, and basically the first the first pad was born. It was reusable. It was washable. It was just like a hunk of fabric. It wasn't like, it was not the modern day pad at all whatsoever. It was just like a strip of fabric that was specifically for people who are menstruating.
I'm envisioning a non-disposable diaper.
Oh, like a full.
Yeah, just like it's like a piece of cloth.
A cloth. Yeah.
But it's like thick and absorbent.
And maybe it had like the long butt part on it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know.
We don't know.
But yeah, it was like specifically made and marketed to people for this purpose. And pretty quickly after those became the go-to, some FITM graduate was like, pads would make them fashion. And thus, the sanitary belt was born, which would become the gold standard from the late 1800s through 1970, which is not that long ago. I mean, our parents were
belted up.
Unless they strictly use tampons. I mean, I didn't ask my mom, but I should have. I'll ask her tomorrow.
I honestly don't think my mom used tampons till like much later.
So your mom definitely did the belt.
Yeah, but she's young for her age. She's young. She's not quite 60 yet, so.
Same with my mom. Yeah, we have young moms.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to ask her about her period having days.
I'm going to ask. Oh my gosh. Well, so the sanitary belt is basically, it's like a cup. It's like a cup, like an athletic cup kind of. Like it has the straps that go around your legs, and then it has like clips that hold on the napkin part. Yeah,
and it's like, it's a strip of fabric and you like buckle it in and you're good to go.
Who designed this? Fucking Benny Franks.
You know
it. Or a Benny Franks stan. But Benny definitely inspired this shit.
Yeah, this is like period buckles.
These are Utes buckles.
Do you want something for that use? I got buckles. Buckles for every occasion.
Did you say you're on your period? Buckle up.
Let's ride the crimson wave.
This is going to be a wild ride. Oh my God.
Oh dear.
Well, it very quickly, like once the sanitary belt was developed and marketed to people who are on their period, it got so competitive so fast. People were like, you can make money on this, and they have it every month? Oh my God. Wait, so doiiii. Oh my God. It's like, we're just going to be rich forever. And so it's like how products nowadays ask you if you want to subscribe for like a 5-cent discount. And it's like, we'll keep selling this to you every month if you'll let us.
Yeah.
And so between 1854 and 1921, the U.S. granted 185 patents on period products. That's so many. For that time period, that's so many.
Listen, the Industrial Revolution was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like, commercial production of menstrual products was a possibility. Mm-hmm. Capitalism was popping. This was its time, baby. And this is honestly, if capitalism has done one good thing for this country, it's to make it easier for people to talk about periods, I think.
Yeah.
Because people were like, we can make money off of this. Let's go. Let's advertise. Let's go. How do we do it?
Yeah, people were having meetings about it. I mean, to be fair, they were like probably talking in very coded, puritanical, like awkward.
And there were all men in the room, not really understanding how this shit worked because they just they were like, honey, they'd go home to their wives and they'd be like, honey, yes, can you please explain to me the menses?
Yeah.
Do you bleed every moment of the day, or what actually happens? How do you not die from this, darling?
Yes. You're bleeding out once a month. From where? Your front butt? Oh my God.
Dear Lord.
How? But then where does your pee come from? Oh.
You have more than one hole there?
How many do you have?
I had not realized.
Does your mother know? Oh my God. Okay. I put some pictures in here. We could like post them on Instagram or whatever, but I want to get your I just want to have you explain this figure before we know what this is. So this first product, technically it's the second photo. What is this and how does it work? Please tell me.
So I'm assuming that this is a product that was made when everybody was still wearing like petticoats and shit.
Could be. Yeah, like in the 1800s.
Okay, so it looks like a torture device in some ways, or like a leather daddy situation.
Yeah, the front is very BDSM.
Yeah, very. We got a lot of like kinky shit happening. It's a belt that comes up to like right below your rib cage. Yeah. Then it goes down. It buckles at the top. Then there's a strap that goes down. It is holding the front of a sanitary napkin, I'm assuming. And then there's like a little another like looks very uncomfortable. Another strap that's like right at the like clit line that has a bow on it. Fuck that. But it's like at a point where like when you're walking, you're probably like, you know, it's like every step you're like,
does it feel good?
No, probably not. Maybe.
Or does
I don't know.
It might. That bow is maybe a little too high, but it's almost clitoral level.
But I'm saying the whole strap is like going around like mid butt. So it's not tucked under your butt. It's like it goes around your like upper thigh and to your butt. And then in the very back, there's 3 more straps coming down from that very top belt area that are holding in place. The one in the middle is holding the napkin part. And then there's 2 that are coming down that are holding what seems to be a toilet seat cover.
Oh, I thought it was an oven mitt.
An oven mitt, a seat cushion.
It's like a piece from a blown out tire.
Yeah, there's like some kind of tread on it.
It's a silicone baking mat.
Yeah. No, silicone. Yeah. Like
it's a fucking bargain bin find from Joann's Fabrics, and it already has bric-a-brac on it.
Yeah. Dude, I think this part though is to catch any leakage when you're sitting down for an extended period of time.
Yeah, 100%. Well, you could totally see what this is. They called it a rubber apron.
Yeah.
And the back part was rubber. So yeah, I think it's holding the sanitary napkin in place, and then the back was to protect your clothing.
And then you have a literal mud flap slapping up against the back of your
flap.
Blood. Sir, what is the plan for when you stand up if you have blood onto this piece of rubber mud flap that is?
Also, it's rubber. It's not absorbing it. It's just slapping it around like a fucking Jackson Pollock painting.
Like you take one step and that thing's slapping the back of your thighs.
Oh, it's making your underwear tie-dye. Yeah, it is. It is just a fucking nightmare.
We are putting this on the Instagram so you can see what we're talking about because it is insane.
Oh my God. Okay, what about this next one? What is it and what does it do?
I don't know, but I want to find out. I have no idea. Like, I don't. Okay, first of all,
it's a belt. You start with the belt.
We got another belt situation. Then we have, and this is like
people did not know how to not make it a belt.
Yeah, this is like the only idea they had for like almost 100 years. Just a belt with various things hanging off of it, mud flaps.
You know what? I get those like sexy girls who are posed like on the truck flaps. Yeah. I get designs or like a Tweety bird, like how people have those Looney Tunes.
It's like a lady's truck nuts. I don't know what the fuck is happening here.
Oh my God.
This is so embarrassing for our whole species.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a belt, and then...
So this is like a side view of it, and then so it has like has the belt around the waist, and then like things coming down that I'm assuming would go around your undercarriage.
Yeah.
Like front to back. But then there seems to be an old-timey telephone nozzle, like
the kind where you
like you pick it up and you speak into it,
like you pick straight up both parts.
Yeah, sticking straight up. Where I'm assuming, okay, and then there's like another piece underneath that looks like a banana or a piece of wood or something. Yeah, that I'm assuming cradles your hoo-ha. So this like funnel, it actually, you know what it looks like? It looks like a bong a little bit. Like it looks like the stem of the bong that you pull out when you're taking a big old rip. It looks like that. But I'm assuming it's a like a funnel like situation that's meant to catch your period blood, and maybe like right below it is like a reservoir for the period blood to go into. I don't fucking know. A man designed this, 100%. Because I don't know how it just like, does it suction to your flaps and keep the stream? I don't know. Okay. I don't understand.
This is FAR's improved flexible uterine supporter. And FAR is the man's name who invented it. And that goes inside of you.
How? Ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, if it's flexible.
It looks kind of like a first edition Diva cup.
Yeah, it totally does.
Like, and then, it drips down into who's filling this up, by the way? It has a reservoir. I mean, maybe you wouldn't empty it very often. I don't know, but it's a Diva cup, which already you don't really fill that up. Well, you can.
Well, now it has, but it's like the Diva cup is draining into something.
It drains into a bladder. Yeah, that's like the size of a banana that goes under your whole taint up into your ass crack. And that fucking thing you fill it up, I guess. It's wild. Okay. Oh my God. Yes, we got through those. So those were some of the contraptions from the 18th and 19th century. And then... and also bordering into the 20th century. And then finally, in 1921, so like we said already, people were using these sanitary napkin belts until the 70s, which is so wild. Like maybe our moms didn't use them, our grandmas for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So in 1921, Kotex came out with disposable sanitary pads and tampons. And I watched this that Attention social channel or whatever. Mm-hmm. They have a YouTube channel and they had a whole thing about products. And they mentioned that the very first disposable sanitary pads the material in them was used in World War I. It was like bandage. It was basically the same material as the bandages they were using for wounded soldiers in World War I.
Yeah, it was like a blend of like cotton and like nylon or something like very absorbent, basically. Yeah. Like a poly something. And they had all these bandages left over after World War I, like all this material, I should say. And the nurses were like, well, these absorb blood. Yeah. We're going to just use it to catch our period blood. So
amazing. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And then Kotex was so smart. Not only are they reusing materials that they already had, they did the smartest thing in branding, which was so rude to people who have periods. They made sure that all of their advertising said not to embarrass yourself. So they were shaming their customers right off the bat, which is a no-no. But
they're like, you're gross. You need this.
Yeah, you're gross. If you bleed out of your vagina once a month, you're gross. You know what you need? Kotex, but don't ask for sanitary napkins when you go into the pharmacy or the five and dime. Go up to the counter and say, I'd like a Kotex, please.
Nobody will know what you're talking about.
And nobody will know that you're on your menses. Because they didn't say period yet.
Yeah,
No. And then they got even smarter and they're like, you know what? Don't even fucking talk to anybody. We're going to put a box by the door. Just put a nickel in it and take one.
Yeah. It's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing for you. Like, how do we sell these faster and like you won't be embarrassed to buy them? Don't even talk to anybody. Just put a nipple in there. Just grab one. It's fine.
You want to tell people you're dirty?
Oh, dear God.
Dear God, woman.
So sad.
Yeah. So they, again, people were still using belts. These were not modern day pads. They did not have the stick 'em on the back to hold them onto your underwear. It was just like belts and clips. I think another way I was thinking of the sanitary belts is like, it kind of looks like if you took some suspenders and then instead of putting them over your shoulders, you like put them on
your legs.
And then the back goes up your butt crack. And then you clip that onto a belt. And then the front goes around your legs and you clip that onto a belt.
What a fucking hassle. Either way, like you have to try to figure out how to change this like a million times a day or whatever. Oh my God.
I know. Well, then 1933, Dr. Earl Cleveland Haas invented the modern day tampon, complete with a cardboard applicator, which was,
Thank you, Dr. Haas.
Thank you, Dr. Haas. Hopefully I would imagine he had, vagina havers. He had those, he only hired a bunch of Utes and from Utah.
Oh my God.
He went to Utah and he was like, listen, I need people with uteri. And they're like, Utes got it, man. And then they went,
Utes got it, dude.
Utes got it, dude. And so, he invented the first modern day tampon. It had the cardboard applicator, which was key because we talked about like homemade tampons being around forever, made of cloth or sponge or whatever. But this was better, and they were disposable, and they were commercially available. And so I think there were iterations leading up into what we now know as the modern day tampon that were made of gauze and stuff, like little baby steps, but those didn't last very long, and they were probably weird.
There was one brand of tampon in like the 60s or 70s, I think, where they used some material that was like a cotton blend, but it was like it had some sort of like foam or something in it that was like super absorbent, but it was a petri dish basically.
Toxic shock.
And it gave women toxic shock like nobody had ever seen before. It was wild. God. So that was like, those only lasted for a couple of years, and then they were like recalled from the shelves, and that company was never heard from again. That's
like biological warfare.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Fucked up.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, so it was great. Tampons were around. People were excited. It made it so much easier, especially because women were entering the workforce.
So much more discreet.
So much more discreet, especially like leading into World War II. Like women started taking on jobs and stuff, and you couldn't change your pad a lot. And, it was harder for people to be clean and sanitary. And so this was great. It made it easy, and you were able to be more active and all the good things. But there was so much pushback on tampons because people did not understand their own bodies. And this is something from the packaging of the first tampons, like modern day as we know it. Some of the first tampons reminded users that a tampon does not interfere with urination, as there are indeed separate orifices for menstruation and for urination. So that was like hot tip number 1. And then number 2, tampons are appropriate for young or unmarried girls. That's right. People thought using a tampon would take away your virginity.
I think people still think that today.
You're 100% right. It is fucking psycho. And I remember people telling me this in high school because I would talk to other, people in our class, and I'd be like, oh yeah, why don't you just use a tampon? And they were like, I can't use a tampon. I'm a virgin. And I was like, what? They don't have anything to do with each other.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Like, what the fuck? Like,
it's shocking, but not that there are people that still believe that. Yeah, I'm sure there are many of our listeners out there like know people that think that.
It's so wild. Yeah, I'm sure. Everyone knows people that think like that or have known them in your life. And it's so funny to me because it's like, oh, so you don't, I guess you just don't realize that people have been putting things up their holes that aren't dicks since the start of time.
Your own fingers.
Like tortoiseshell dildos.
Yeah.
A stick. We talked about peeped fruits and vegetables. We've heard people have done that. You know, there's a lot that's going in there. So
yeah, calm down.
Calm down. I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, things progress. But in 1935, the first menstrual cup was invented, and it was invented by a lady, no less. A woman named Leona Chalmers invented the menstrual cup, which is a rubber cup that stays inside the vaginal canal and collects menstrual fluid. I have used a menstrual cup. It's great.
Yeah, it's great. It's a little tricky. There's a learning curve.
Learning curve for sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But once you get it going, it's great.
Yeah. I said you couldn't really fill up one earlier. That's not true. You definitely can. So you just have to make sure you change it when you have a heavy flow because you don't want to be out in public somewhere having to take that out and find a place to put
a chalice of blood is not what anybody's looking for.
No. Especially if you're wearing white pants.
Yeah. It's just, it's not gross. It's just like it's not what you don't want a chalice of blood, Yeah. I mean, only in like certain rituals do you want an actual chalice of blood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not while you're at Trader Joe's though. No.
If you're like putting a hex on Mitch McConnell, yes.
Absolutely.
Save your period blood.
Gather that blood.
Yeah.
Hex that motherfucker into oblivion. But yeah, people were not ready for that shit.
No.
So yeah, tampons and menstrual cups they came and went a little bit, but then by the late 60s, people were finally freeing their minds. We had some marketing execs who did acid or shrooms maybe, and we're like, man, we just need to open up our mind and make money different ways.
Or they were like, you know what, man, we just need to open up our mind and maybe listen to our secretary Joan. She has a lot of good ideas. And I feel like maybe she could shine some light on this whole front butt situation. I don't know why I love calling it that. It's very funny to me.
Oh, God.
And they were like, yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, my God. Well, in 1969, Stay Free finally figured out the formula for adhesive. They were like, okay, ordinarily when you make glue, first you need to thermoset your resin. And then after it cools, you have to mix in an epoxide, which is really just a fancy name for any simple oxygenated adhesive, right? And then Stay Free thought maybe, just maybe, you could raise the viscosity by adding a complex glucose derivative during the emulsification process. And it turns out they were right.
Romy and Michelle!
Yeah!
Oh, so good. The formula for glue for Post-its.
Yeah. In the dream, yeah. Yeah, I just thought that was very funny and relevant. I'm like,
great.
I
love it.
Sneak it in there. Okay, so yeah, they finally figured out we could probably
stick these to underwear.
Oh my God. And then people don't have to wear these weird belts anymore that they hate wearing that are
have
just
been around for so long.
Yeah, and they're not discreet. You have to take that whole, every time you go on a trip or something, you have to pack the whole belt and, all the individual, full stack of napkins.
The big belt lobbyists were really pissed. Big belt
and suspender makers of the United States were like, what? No, what are you doing here? And then, yeah. And we're
ladies
no.
love belts. Big Belt was pissed.
Big belt. Oh
sorry.
My God. We don't care. Well, I don't know. All right. Yeah. So I guess what's interesting here too, and I think we might want to do a follow-up. I already said kind of up top about the cultural journey of how we talk about menstruation, but there was a huge shift in this time about around how we spoke about periods. And even though toxic people, men, who still exist today, but were very prevalent then. Were
also
like,
a lot of toxic women too,
and a lot of toxic women, yeah,
who had a lot of internalized misogyny,
sure, and still do,
yeah. Oh, and still do, yeah.
But just people were like, ew, don't talk about that, and ew, I don't want to know about it. That's like something, and then women are ashamed about it, or people are ashamed about it, and would be for a long time and still are. But the advertising industry really drove up the visibility of menstrual products because of the advertising boom around this time with, television and just advertising becoming a bigger thing and capitalism thriving and all that stuff. And also the women's movement was prevalent during this time. And, Gloria Steinem's like, we could fucking talk about periods.
Yeah.
Okay? Like
Joan Baez is out here singing the whole fucking song about free bleeding, probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
Look at her B-sides. There's probably something there.
Yeah, for sure. No, 100%. I think maybe it was like a little bit coded, but that's a period. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so people were talking about it, but it wasn't until the mid-'80s. The fucking mid-'80s, after we were born, literally 1985. We had already been born. Hot tip.
Do the math.
Do the math. How old are we? Shh, don't tell.
Don't say anything.
Until that point, the word period had never been used on TV. And finally, 1985, the first commercial, Courtney Cox did a Tampax ad, and she said, "Oh, I feel better about my period." And it was like,
so many dudes' dicks fell off because the word period was said on TV that day.
Oh my God. No, they just like went inside. They were like, and then they were like, and it just like went inside. And how the ladies went out in the streets and just had their flaps out and they danced.
Flaps out.
Flaps out. Oh my God. And the floodgates open, pun intended.
Ew.
And then it was like, period, 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 pew, 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 all over TV forevermore.
Yeah. Blood flooded the streets that day.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, technically not blood, but blue liquid. Okay. Blue liquid would then be poured on pads. Tampons would be dipped in whole ass cups of it, and that was a metaphor for your period. And people were into it.
Some alien ass like liquid. Okay, but yeah, that's how they showed you how absorbent their products were, was by pouring blue liquid onto it. And the same thing with like diapers. It's like, just like, it's fine. God, I know. You guys, calm down. I know.
But do you want to see like baby diarrhea shot into a diaper?
It doesn't. You don't just show yellow pee. It's fine.
Oh, pee. Yeah.
You don't have to show diarrhea.
I don't know why I was like, oh no, don't show baby shit on TV. It's like, that's not the first step.
No.
Oh my God. Yeah. So people were just, dumping test tubes of blue liquid everywhere. The reason they did the blue liquid, is because it is, reminiscent of a cleaning product. And so it makes you think of things that are more sanitary and clean. And so I don't know. Sure. But, I think actually in the past 10 years or 15 years, they've started using red. Sometimes. I don't think the big companies do it.
I feel like that's only happened within the past couple years. Like
could be, yeah.
You've seen like, we'll talk about it, but.
Yeah. Oh, and finally, like around 2011, menstrual cups made a comeback, started picking up steam with Diva Cup. People were way more environmentally conscious, and there's no risk of toxic shock syndrome with that product. Or maybe it's like very, very low. And then in the last like 5 to 7-ish years, period underwear like Think started gaining popularity, which I really want some, and I should have just bought some because they were doing like a 20% off start of the new year deal. I should see if they're still doing it, but they're very expensive. But then when you think about it, it's like a cost per use situation.
Yeah.
Where, it's like, well, do you want to keep buying period products or for the rest of your fertile years, or do you just like want to invest in these? But luckily I have an IUD, so I don't really have like a full period.
Yep.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. And then that's where we are today. And the biggest thing that just happened in November of 2020, which I just wanted to give a shout out to Scotland, one of my motherlands. I would like to say that they were the first country to vote to make sanitary products free to everyone. Doesn't matter who you are in the country, you can get sanitary products on the government's dime. It's provided resource, and it will completely abolish period poverty, which is a thing when people cannot afford access to those products, or it's just not something they're able, like, you know, food's more important and shelter and all that stuff, and it's just not something they have the funds for. And it's like, okay, yeah, like this should be free to everyone. I mean,
we have our priorities fucked up. And if you
dude.
would like to learn more about like pink tax stuff, there's so many resources out there, like figuring out how to we can make these things like real. Like we are going into an era where we will be able to have some of these things pass, hopefully. So let's hunker down. Let's hunker down, stay on your representatives, and let's be empathetic and boost our communities by thinking of these things, even if we are not period havers. You know, this is a like, think of like homeless populations. Think of, you know, just people in poverty that have to make the choice between, you know, literally food and like, oh, I guess I'll free bleed this week. You know, it's just,
Yeah, the stuff and these things are not cheap. It's not like, oh, well, it's $1. Like, no, it's like $12, $15 for a box of this shit. And it's, you know, I'm lucky because I really, like, it's not that long ago, but I've had my IUD for like 3 or 4 years, almost 4 years. And I don't really remember what it's like to have to, like, have to buy it all the time. I mean, it's not an expense I have, so.
Well, and some people, even if they get IUDs, have periods.
Still have a flow,
so, you know, it doesn't work that way for everybody, but I mean, it's
wild. I think this is going to be one of my causes, I think, is like, I just feel like this is very much in line with things I already care about. And is something that's very silly. Like, even if it was like, let's at least just make sure people who have lower incomes can have access to the stuff. And it's not something they have to worry about. I don't fucking care about, you know, the people living their bougie ass lives. You could buy your own tampons, okay?
Yeah.
But it's like, let's make sure it's like for like middle class people and, you know, lower class people, whatever. Anybody that's in a school, anybody that's working a government job too. It's like, well, this stuff should just be in bathrooms. I don't want to pay a fucking 50 cents.
Yeah,
I don't have quarters.
If you want to pay the extra money for an amethyst fucking lined tampon, then you can. But
oh my God,
that you don't like let people have their periods in peace, okay? All right. Well, if you're a period haver, if you're a Ute,
if you have a Utes,
you got Utes,
if you got a Utes infection,
oh God, you don't want that. That's terrible.
Yeah, if you're bleeding from the Utes or your front butt, and you need some products, there's so many you could try. And just everybody, you know, Erin started the show off, what a time to be alive, but it was a negative way. But listen, we also use that phrase in a positive way.
I was trying to make it positive.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, by saying we have so many options now.
Oh, yes. I thought you were saying it in reference to everything going on politically. You're right. And I was going to say that too. What a time to be alive. We have so many options. We don't have to wear a belt. We are so lucky to be living now as people who have vaginas and have a monthly visitor. And I just can't believe that maybe our moms like wore fucking pad belts.
Yeah.
It's so wild to me.
Next time you're able to get together with your family, like just ask them about their period belts, see what they have to say.
I'm going to text my mom right after this. I am.
I think that's all I got though on this subject.
Yeah.
Well, there's so much more we could talk about on this subject, but we have to stop somewhere. So
yeah,
I think this is a good ending point with our embarrassing stories. So
I think so.
All right, guys, that's it for today. Thank you as always for listening. We love you so much and appreciate you.
Oh yeah,
you're the best.
You're the best. All right. Well, follow us on social medias, DTFU podcast, all the places. We already said visit our website, dtfupodcast.com. If you are interested in hearing how people who are activists and abolitionists won us the Senate, with all the work they've been doing for decades, check out Ground Game Georgia. It's a podcast that I've been helping out with, and that's very fun. I just wanted to plug that.
Check it out.
It's very inspiring. Episode 5 has been my favorite so far. The B-sides. It's very good.
Oh, yeah.
What else? Anything else?
I don't think so. All right. Well, hey, listen here. Stay excellent to yourselves.
And each other.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.